Wait for it. Cue the intro.
Ooh, it says live on Facebook. This is cool.
Are we cueing the intro music?
Yes, we are.
On. Let me make sure this is like, oh, this is happening. This is like happening. We figured it out.
Yeah, we did. Resourceful. This is different because now I'm like, oh man, where's the comments? Where's the Facebook peeps?
Okay, I got Facebook. You guys, we made it. Oh my God.
We are here. Cheers to resourcefulness.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hang on. Click to expand because I want to make sure we're good. Zoom and Facebook, what? Steph says, Steph is on. I see you, Monique. We're live.
We are here. Cheers to resourceful. I am hearing echoes from when I cheersed.
I'm still trying to figure it out. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
You guys, we did it. Hang on. Cute. This is a celebration. Music. Woo! Oh, snap. Let me get my tea. Cheers.
Cheers, babe. So good to be on live. Finally, a few minutes late. Thank you, Facebook, for always keeping us on our toes.
Facebook just updated where we can't do split screen live. So here we are on Zoom. We figured it out, you guys, but let me just talk about, what we just experienced? Because hang on, if you're watching live right now, just go ahead and drop a comment in the comments below. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from. Welcome to Tuesday Tea Talks live mid-morning show with Candy and Leslie. I'm super excited to be here. And you want to just share?
Yeah, what are you sipping on? Tell us where in the world you're coming from and what you're sipping on. I'm actually sipping on, it was a surprise tea that I kind of just bought and then I ended up loving it. Has that ever happened to you where you're like, oh, I'll try this, never heard of this brand, never heard of this flavor? And it ended up being my favorite tea. It's called Sweet and Spicy, and it's very strong. And I really like more of those strong, robust cinnamon, very strong teas. So I'm loving it. I'd love to hear what everyone's sipping on. And we're going to just go ahead and start this episode off with real life. When life gives you lemons, when Candy and Leslie have planned out the show, we talked yesterday, we sign on right at 10. Tea in hand, so excited, ready to go, and crickets and more crickets. And then we try this, the headphones, no headphones, split screen, no split screen, jump on, you jump on. And here we are on Zoom, which ultimately we wanted to end up on Zoom anyways, or we had talked about Zoom, integrating Zoom into these recordings anyways. So we ended up on Zoom sooner than we expected. Here we are, and we're just so grateful to be live for you. But this is let's not skip over this real life example of when life does give you lemons. Like what happens if you're about to go walk on stage or you're finally hosting your first event and people don't show up, or you wake up and you don't feel good and you're kind of sick, or you forget the worksheets that you printed out the night before. There's always going to be something, and most of the time, we didn't know this is how today was going to go. We even purposely talked about this and put everything in place we possibly could just in case it did happen. Yeah. Candy had sent me the text, the copy, just in case she couldn't go live. I was going to go live. So we set ourselves up for success. And even still, Candy, what happened?
Oh my gosh. Well, Facebook decided to update and decide not to give us the opportunity to do a split screen live for some reason. I don't know if it's just a temporary thing or if it's an all the time thing going forward, but here we are. So we've got a couple comments coming in, watching from Gilbert AZ, sipping on coffee, lemon zinger. Monique is sipping on zinger. Or maybe she's telling us this was a lemon zinger. I don't know. We got Monique coming in from Phoenix, and
hello, Monique.
Steph says she can hear, but she can hear me, but it's a little bit more soft. She can hear Leslie a lot more clear. So
Yeah, babe, that's what I was saying. Like when I didn't have my headphones in, definitely you were talking, but it was just very quiet.
Is it still pretty quiet? Let me know, Steph. If so, I can just project my voice. Um, Here's the thing. I also couldn't find my AirPods this morning. So
Oh, that's probably why I got the headphones in. But what we'll do is we'll keep rolling. Steph, let us know if you can hear Candy. Candy might just have to project her voice. And we really want to go, the show goes on, and this is such a beautiful example. I know there's a lot of rising entrepreneurs that are new to this space where it's just all scary right now, or you have this desire and you're in this space of wanting to make new changes in your life, and it seems like life is just giving you lemons. And so even today, it's like, man, this is really not a lemon we wanted to deal with. Candy has a coaching call after this. I have a few appointments later today. But really to show up. We're on this show for conscious conversations. We're on this show to remind you to live a wonderful life, that you are worthy of living a life full of love, adventure, excitement, a life true to you. But to live that kind of empowered life, what does it take, Candy? It takes, one word I'm going to say is pivoting. And I think you even mentioned that.
You said pivoting.
In the patience, pivoting, exactly. And you had even written that in the description of this video, I believe. And I love that, because how it really comes down to how quickly and how effectively, with grace and ease, can you pivot when life gives you lemons. And this is such a beautiful opening to what we were planning on diving into anyway.
Love it. Love it. You guys are in for a treat today, because stay, and you will want to stay until the end. Again, we won't spend so much time today, as we're already 20 minutes late to the show, but we still are so committed to delivering the value that we always plan to deliver. So live coaching is still in effect. For those of you that are on, you'll get the opportunity to have that, but stay until the end, because Leslie has a really cool practice that she's going to share with you. If y'all don't know, Leslie is actually my meditation teacher and my breathwork teacher. And so with you all, and I'm super excited for that too. I'm really like, thank God we're doing this today, because life is giving me some lemons, and I'm about to flip myself.
Yes. So let's talk about that. So as I just said, to really live an empowered life, it's really comes down to, I mean, we can do some rainbows, some butterflies, some like feel good, but what it really comes down to is how effectively, efficiently, with ease and grace you can move through lemon moments. Hello. Yep. It's like lemon moments are going to happen. Who has had a lemon moment this week? Me.
Hello.
Drop a comment with our favorite emoji of the month. Who has had a lemon moment this week? And if you want to expand, please type out, what were you up against? What lemon did you have to bite on? And what we're specifically going to talk about in this episode is when shit is hitting the fan, when life is giving you lemons, the last thing to go should be your practice. Mm-hmm. But before we dive into that, I want to take just a few brief moments. What do I mean by practice? Morning practice, daily ritual, morning routine. Some of you know very well what that means, and some of you keep hearing this and are like, I really don't know what they mean when they say practice, morning practice. What's a morning practice? Yeah. So Candy, do you want to just like, what is it? What do we mean when we say a morning practice, morning routine, morning ritual? Anything like that? What do we mean by that?
I love that, Leslie. I love that you brought that to light, because so many people, I speak at so many events and I hear the same thing come up, because people ask me all of the time, like, they see what I do, they see that, the big impact that we're making. And the biggest question that comes up is just like, what do you do for yourself? How do you manage all of that? Like, how do you really pour into yourself like you are pouring into so many people? And the biggest thing I share is just like, I have my daily practice. And they're like, yeah, but I don't have a daily practice, or I haven't been able to meditate every day, and I haven't been able to do this. Or I've heard, one of the ones I really love the most is I don't have time for that. Some of my mamas, I love you. I love the mamas. If you're a mama, comment below. But I love the mamas because that's the biggest thing that comes up from home. It's like, I don't have time for that. What do you mean? Like, do you know what it's like to have a kid? And I'm just like, yeah, but your kid, your child needs you to be in your best version of you, and so but it doesn't have to look a specific way. And I think that's the point that people are missing, is that it has to be an hour of meditation every day, and every single day, and every single day, and it has to be at the same time, and we have to wake up at 5 a.m. or something like that, and we set ourselves up for failure ultimately, because we're going from zero meditation period, or
Mm-hmm.
or yoga class here and there, to okay, if I'm going to be successful, like all these books tell me to, like all of these great people that of, Nikola Tesla, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, all these people that you also admire as world changers, they all have a daily practice, or had a daily practice, and they share about that. There's all the self-development books that you'll read. It's like, have a daily practice. What is it that you're going to do to be able to get your ideas out of your head and into the world, and listen ultimately. And so everybody that you know and love and look up to has this daily practice, but we tell ourselves it has to be this, it has to look like this. And I think the biggest thing is knowing that it doesn't actually have to look like anybody else's daily practice, that it has to be true to you. And I think that's what Leslie and I both stand for. Ultimately, we know the power of meditation for 45 minutes. My light just came off. We know the power of meditation for a long prolonged period of time, but when you aren't in a space for that, or you're not in a space where you're jumping to that, like you're starting off at zero, like we just encourage, what's something that you can add that will have you feeling empowered every single day. And so I think
Beautiful.
we mean by daily practice, right? A time where you get to tune in. And lots of people, so when lots of people talk about praying, and we talk about, like, prayer is like speaking to source, speaking to God, speaking to the universal source of energy. Meditation is listening. You sit and you listen, and you get those answers. You get to ultimately have that moment
Mm-hmm.
of discovering what's there for you. And there's so much, like, so what is going to have you feel empowered ultimately? And Leslie and I, we both have very, very different practices, but very similar at the same time. And ultimately, it's to have us living life intentionally versus life happening to us. And we could have responded very differently. We could have easily given up and not been here on this call right now.
Yes.
We're working through it. We're being patient. We're pivoting. We're able to do that because both of us have and are so committed to our daily practice.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest things I want to highlight there that you said, Candy, is it looks different every day, and it can look different, and there's no right or wrong. So when we're saying a daily practice, daily ritual, morning routine, it's a dedicated, consistent, dedicated, uninterrupted, non-negotiable time. I don't care if it's 10 minutes. I don't care if it's 2 hours. It is a dedicated, uninterrupted, non-negotiable time for you. And I work with a lot of women as well. Some of them just new to this journey, and then some of them playing some pretty darn big games. And I am blown away, like on the floor, when I meet women who are doing really amazing things, and they are so stressed, so frazzled. And like Candy said, ask questions like, how do you do what you do with such ease and being so grounded? Not perfect, have tons of freak out moments. My question to them is, how do you not have this time to kick and scream and cry and dance and meditate and do whatever needs to happen? And so we are specifically talking about your morning practice or your daily practice when ish is hitting the fan. So we want to hear from you, because I'm going to answer too for myself, but we want to hear from you. when life is giving you lemons, why is it that your practice, that sacred time for yourself, is the first thing that goes?
Drop it in
What comes up for you? I mean, you can please get as deep as you want and as honest as you want here. And maybe you don't know. Maybe I want us to start thinking like, wow, whenever I'm stressed and busy and taking on more projects and really in the thick of it, why is it that that's the first thing that goes on my to-do list? So I would love to hear some answers from you. And I'm going to share just from my own experience. I mean, I have stories like this all the time. For me, constantly being in transition. And most recently, you guys know, I just moved to San Diego after returning from being abroad most of this year. And as exciting and as amazing as all of it's been, it's truly a dream come true to live here in San Diego. I've had a few lemons along the way, not being able to find where to live, having 2 weeks of literally like in limbo, day to day, not knowing where I'm going to live. Okay, what about some streams of income? You know, your coaching clients, like, welcome back to America.
Yeah.
And welcome back.
It's like so much more expensive.
Everything's like quadruple the cost. Everything's such a fast pace. And I'm like, whoa. And this is when I need my practice the most. But I even watched myself 2 days ago. I mean, I was literally like pacing around my house. It wasn't a matter of time. I might tell my friend, oh, I'm just too busy right now. I have too much going on. It wasn't a matter of time. I was literally watching myself pacing my house, avoiding going outside right over there and sitting my booty in the grass. And finally, and I just turned to some grace and I'm like, you know what? This is your time where you get to do anything. Just sit there. Literally just sit there, dance, scream, kick, cry, write, whatever you need to do, just go sit. And the truth is I was avoiding me. We're not telling you to meditate for me, for Candy. Like, we don't get anything out of you meditating other than the world definitely gets to see your light shine brighter. So we benefit in that way, but we don't personally benefit from you meditating, just like y'all don't. Well, you guys do benefit, definitely benefit when I meditate. But for me, it was like I was avoiding me. I knew that if I sat down, even just sitting down in some silence, what was going to arise might not be what I want to feel right now, might not be what I want to deal with. So how many of you resonate with that? And Candy, let me know if there's any comments or anything coming through.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said, you know, and I love that this is resonating with y'all watching. Please drop a comment below if you're really resonating. Leslie, I lost you for a second. Oh, there you go. You're good. You're back. But the comment below says, you know, a lot of times it's that damn fear. Monique says, fear of the things that come up in order to be let go. Like you said, the things that we're avoiding, the things that we really don't want to feel. And I think, you know, what's so important, and I'll read the rest of this comment, but, you know, Monique, thank you so much for being vulnerable and getting your comment. We get to speak directly to you because you were able to share about that. And so, you know, what I'll share is that, you know, when we avoid that, you know, and myself and Leslie both, we have been there and we still find ourselves doing it. We catch ourselves more often now. But then what happens, you know, when we avoid that in meditation or in just our daily practice, it comes out in some other way later on down the road, whether it's our clients, you're dealing with your clients every day and you're transferring energy to your clients. Also, you know, in relationships with our partners, with our best friends, with our loved ones, with our families, our communities, it comes out there. Like Leslie and I know when we aren't sitting in our daily practice, like we know by the way we're reacting with each other and we are responding to each other. We know when you're like, okay, when's the last time you sat? You know,
right.
Me and she'll know because of the way I'm reacting. And your loved ones might not get that, but they'll know that you aren't, you know, yourself is what it'll come
fully filled up. And I love that you've said that, Candy. And so once again, having people in your life that stand for you in that way and say, hey, yo, girl, when was the last time you were in the seat of meditation?
Leslie does.
keep a Leslie around, I'll ask you. But it's really, let's even take away the word meditation for a minute, because I know it's such a hot word. It's been a hot word now for 5,000 years, but even lately it's circling back as such a popular word. And people are either like so in, or they're like, they hear that word and they tune out at this point, because people have already decided I can meditate, it's good for me, or I can't meditate, something's wrong with me. And this is the first myth I want to bust. And so when I say morning practice, I meditate every single day, but there are times where I sit there and I sing. There's times I sit there and I'm literally dancing and I don't even know what I look like and I don't really care. And then there's times that I'm crying. And like really allowing the energy, the emotion, the energy that's in motion or trying to be in motion to move through me. And so when I meet these women who don't have a practice, or they say they don't have time, but then in that same breath, they're telling me that they're stressed out, they don't feel like they have anyone that they can really open up to and lean on, and they feel all alone, and they feel like they're doing this all alone, and they don't have the clarity or the direction that they're really looking for. Usually my first question is like, well, do you have a regular time? Take out even daily practice. Do you have a regular time that you are able to sit long enough in stillness? And when I say long enough, 5 minutes is long enough. Do you have a time where you're sitting in silence long enough to even hear, to even tune in that your lower back might be hurting, to even tune in that you haven't ate since this morning?
And so many of us avoid this, and it's like, those are the people that end up saying like, I've just got so much going on. I've just got so much going on. You don't understand. Like, this kind of stuff comes out, and it's like, yeah, girl, I get it. And I've been there, but I love this conversation because it comes up so much. And I think, yes. I think it's so important to talk about, that people don't really, address when something is happening. It really has little to do with what's actually happening and how you're able to pivot and respond to it, because you are sitting in your daily practice, because you are processing emotions that need to be processed. And so I love what you're saying, Leslie. It's so important. And I love that you said, sometimes I'm singing, because I think that's what people can avoid, is just sitting with themselves, and we're so attached to things. Like, some of us can't sit for 5 minutes without checking our Instagram, or
totally
Facebook, or out checking email. But it's like, when's the last time you just listened into what you need? And so Monique says, but now when those moments come up, I journal. I start out with today I feel, and I just let it flow, reflect on the good, the bad, and the ugly. And though I love that, and I have moments where I check in and see how I'm feeling. Yes, I see how I'm, feeling. This, I think, is a good time, Leslie, to transition into like sharing the practices that we have. I lost you.
I'm here.
Okay. But sharing the practices that we have. And so for those of you still on, like, Leslie and I are going to share a couple different things that you can take away from this. Thank you for participating. For those of you that really mentioned, what you're experiencing. And so there's two major things that Leslie and I both do, meditation being one of them, and then doing this like daily intentional practice where you decide how the day is going to go. Like, you're intentional about how you move throughout the day. So I'll be sharing with you just a couple things you can do, like 3 just solid tips. And this is also accessible on my website. And then Leslie will be sharing a meditation that you can actually do right now with us live.
Yes.
Yes. Watching, this is how easy it can be. And we really want to show you that this is how easy it can be to just sit for a moment in stillness and silence. So I'm excited about that. Leslie, are you cool with that?
Yeah, go ahead. And I want you to share about the practice. And I want the ladies to know, listening and watching, that Candy and I yesterday got on the phone and we're like, okay, like bare minimum, if they do this practice, like we talk about this all the time anyway, but like what we've incorporated into our daily practice, we're like, okay, if they do this, like bare minimum, if they commit to 10 to 15 minutes every single day and do just this, will they be able to pivot and be patient and be able to withstand like really show up empowered when life gives them lemons. And we both were like, heck yes.
Boom.
So this is what we're really challenging. And we're going to be checking in with you this week. And of course, next Tuesday, we're going to do some live check-ins. So we want to know who is committing. Who is committing when really life seems to be getting busier right now? Life seems to be getting more full. Who is in? I'm in. I know I need it. Who is in for committing to 15 minutes every single day? Candy's going to share her portion of what she has created and really we both have implemented into our own personal daily lives. And then we'll be closing with a live meditation that's as short as 4 minutes, which is going to be part of your collective practice, which I'll talk a little bit more on after Candy shares. And so who's in for 15 minutes total a day until next Tuesday? And what we're going to do is we're going to check in. Like, we're going to be honest. How do I feel today? How have I been feeling all month? And now I'm committing no matter what. I don't care if you have to cancel with like appointments you've had for 2 months. You will do 15 minutes every single day from today until next Tuesday. Who's in? I'm in.
Comments coming below. I'm in. Good. I love
Yay, 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 yay. All right, Candy, let her roll.
Okay, awesome. So I love this. I love this so much because, and Leslie, like, I love it when she gets in this mode because it's kind of like mama bear mode where she actually care. We actually care. That's like, again, we don't get anything out of you doing your practice, but we actually care that you guys do this because we know in our lives what we created. So many people look up to Leslie and I, like we're extraordinary or something, like we're living this dream life, right? Like we literally like live the life that we truly love. We're like super successful in business and in just everything we do in life. And so many women look up to us as if we are extraordinary. This is what we do. That's literally that has been able over the last 2 years of practicing this regularly, not just sometimes, regularly, daily, like Leslie's saying. That's why we're so really like fiercely passionate about it, because so many people want to know what it is that has us in this space. Literally, this is it. So 3 steps that I'm going to share with you. Leslie's going to lead a meditation, and then peace. We'll see you next week. Okay, here it goes. So thank you for those of you that are down, committed. We will check in with you personally, and then we'll check in with you next week. Consider how you've been feeling, how life has been happening for you, and then consider what's possible now. Number 1, asking yourself every single morning, how do I want to feel before your feet hit the floor? Before you leave your bed, before you just like waking up, okay, taking a deep breath. I know you want to go get your coffee. I know you want to check your cell phone. Don't do it. How do I want to feel? How do I desire to feel today? And then choose one word, confident, courageous. I want to feel beautiful. I want to feel sexy. I want to, whatever it is that you want to feel that day, for whatever it is you need. Comment so yes, love it. Comment below, how do I desire to feel? So I know you guys got it. Number 2, having a daily check-in, 2 minutes, 1 minute, I don't care. Just how am I feeling? So Monique said this earlier, like I dump it all out in a journal. How am I actually feeling? Like, how do I actually feel right now? Like I do this midday, like, okay, let's check in. Like I've done a couple things. I've completed a couple meetings. I've gone on a few coaching calls. How am I feeling right now? And I'll be honest with you guys, oftentimes, 50% of the time, I might not be feeling the way I want to feel. And that I said in the morning, like Monique says, I want to feel at peace. Okay, say I woke up and I'm like, I want to feel at peace. And I get in my car, get on the road, and I hit some traffic and I'm cussing people out. Maybe you guys don't do that. Sometimes I do, and I'll be honest. And so it's like, how am I actually feeling? How am I feeling right now? And if it's not at peace, okay, it's okay. Give yourself some grace, some love, some compassion, and allow yourself to like whatever it is that you're experiencing, and give yourself some grace. Okay, I'm not feeling that way. Here's what I did that was out of alignment. How can I move back into alignment? How can I pivot? What can I do now that's going to reach that feeling? How can I pivot? And so really check in. How am I actually feeling? And number 3, throughout the end of the day, before you go to bed, because we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day, 95% of them being completely unconscious and negative and redundant. This is your opportunity to have some intervention work and say, what can I acknowledge myself for? 3 things. I want 3 things. What can I acknowledge myself for that I am doing? What did I do today that was in alignment? What did I do today that was towards whatever I want to accomplish, towards my goal? What can I acknowledge myself for? What am I doing right? We are constantly, well, I'm doing this wrong. I'm not doing this. I'm not good enough here. Here's where I fell short of my goals today. We are so hard on ourselves. If you can bring to light before you go to sleep every day, just a couple things you did. First of all, you woke up out of bed. Congrats, like you got out of bed. That's huge. Second, you went out and you touched some lives. You smiled at that person, you held the door for this person, whatever it is. Like, what can you acknowledge yourself for at the end of the day? And I think that's going to be super powerful. So again, it's accessible on my website if you guys want to go download it. It's a 3-step guide. And then Leslie's through that, like that's one of the things I do. And then along with meditation, which Leslie has been such a powerful teacher for me in this space. So I'm super excited for her to share with you this meditation before we log off.
Perfect. So we will be collectively breathing and meditating together live. I'm super excited. But before we dive in, I want to give a little bit logistics, because I know we can get a little heady and it's like, okay, but how long? And and ultimately I know it's because you want to do it correctly and you want it to be effective. But how you can be more effective and how you can do it correctly is let go of trying to do it right. Let go of it trying to look a certain way, be a certain way. Remember, if you can't fully unleash and if you can't fully be yourself in this 10, 15, 1 hour, whatever it is, block that you give yourself, how can you unleash in your life if you cannot do it in your private, sacred space? So for the next week, I am so excited for the women who said they're in, including myself and Candy, where we are going to be committing to 15 minutes or more every single day, where, there you go, like that. 15 minutes every day. And this is where you get to tune in. We want you connected to your intuition. We want you connected to your power. And so you get to tune in and like feel it to heal it, dance, sing, cry, whatever is meant. I'm here. Whatever is meant and needed to move will be moved. And so the practice I'm giving you, what I'm requesting, is that can be done for 8 minutes as a standalone practice. But I'm telling you that this practice can also be done for 4 minutes anytime throughout the day. So I loved Candy's midday check-in. So I say that in the morning, I desire to feel free. I just want to feel free. I want to feel open. I want to feel love. I want to feel excitement. And midday I check in and I'm frustrated because Facebook didn't work and I had to get on Zoom, and this really like threw a little speed bump in my day. And I'm checking in and I don't feel free. Dang it. So first of all, I get to check in with myself and say, what actions that I've taken so far, or what way of being do I have that isn't in alignment with feeling free? And then I can check in, do my little talking to myself. And if I'm like, you know what, I still just am like freaking frustrated, give yourself these 4 minutes. This practice is designed to balance through your breath, to bring you to your center, to assist in calming your nervous system a little bit, bringing you back to that peaceful place that ultimately I know you want to create from. So in the morning, you're going to sit down for your practice. You're going to set a 15-minute timer, or for this, you can set a 10-minute timer, but you know that the practice is 15 minutes. And in this 10-minute timer, the first minute, you're going to just give yourself a minute to really drop in, closing your eyes. And we can go ahead and we're going to start dropping in now. I'm just laying out really what this practice is going to look like logistically, because I know your mind wants to know. And then you're going to move into the breath practice that I will be sharing. And then spend the last minute just coming to your breath, no longer in the practice, checking in with how you feel now. And then you can end the practice with some journaling, with what Candy shared, setting your intentions for the day. Like, how do I really desire to feel today? And so for now, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you, like literally minute by minute, guide you what it looks like to start tuning in to your internal world, to the inside of you, where everything externally is created from. And we do that by closing off some of our external senses, resting your hands on your knees, closing your mouth, closing your eyes, and inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Simply by closing our eyes, closing our mouth, we're drawing in our senses, no longer navigating life from the external. Coming to a comfortable seated position wherever you are. If you're in a couch or a chair, just slightly sitting up to where the back of the seat is not touching your back. And we have that open channel to allow this emotion, to allow this energy to move. Continue to deepen the breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So that's already been 1 minute. We're dropping into our internal world. And now we are going to create balance. We're going to really pour into ourselves, literally filling up our cup. We're going to start by a little sip of an inhale through the nose first. Inhale. Inhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Inhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Inhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Inhale through the mouth. Holding the breath at the top. Stay here in this stillness. And when you are ready, the same way you inhaled, you will exhale, starting with the nose. Exhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. Exhale, nose. Mouth. Nose. Mouth. Nose. Mouth. Exhaling all of the air out. Emptying your belly, holding the breath at the bottom, hold the breath. And whenever you are ready, inhaling through the nose, starting with the nose, alternating with the mouth for a total of 8 inhalations. Inhale, 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 inhale. Inhale, inhale, hold the breath at the top, hold the breath, dropping your shoulders down, relaxing the jaw as you begin to exhale, starting with the nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, nose, mouth, emptying all of your air, holding the breath at the bottom. Do not breathe here. Hold the breath. And continuing at your own pace, completing 2 more rounds on your own, trusting yourself. You get to be the guide. Inhaling through the nose, alternating with the mouth for a total of 8 sips of air. holding at the top, staying in the nothingness. It's in this space, the more certain, the more calm we can be in these gaps, the more effective we will be at pivoting when life gives us lemons. Commit to yourself. Commit to your breath. Commit to your one and only adventurous life that is happening right now. One more round at your own pace, your own rhythm, allowing your body to soften with each breath. Holding the breath at the top and at the bottom. And whenever you're complete with your final round, meeting at the bottom of the breath, whenever you are finished. Holding the breath. And whenever you are ready, inhaling through both nostrils, holding the breath, expanding, filling the belly with air. You experience your ribs expand, expanding through the chest as you radiate this new presence. And when you are ready, open your mouth and exhale through your mouth. One more time together. Inhale through the nose, filling your belly, watching yourself physically expand. Observing how much lighter, how much brighter, how radiant you feel. And whenever you are ready, opening your mouth and allowing all of the air to exhale through you. Closing your mouth and returning to the natural flow of your breath, in through the nose and out through the nose. This is Shuka Shunya Breath Kriya. This is a breathwork practice from the Himalayan mountains that will give you, you can check in, verify for your own experience. How do you feel now? Do you feel more calm? Do you feel more centered? You'll use the last minute of your meditation to observe. Maybe you feel the same. Maybe you feel just a little bit lighter. Either way, you are giving yourself the opportunity to hear, to really listen for the clarity, the direction that you're looking for. Continuing with this breath throughout the remainder of the day, deepening your breath, deepening your experience of life. And whenever you are ready, on your next inhalation, opening your eyes and coming back together to this Facebook world. So incredible. I forgot I was on Facebook.
No, yeah, I see people joining. Thank you for this. You're welcome, Pamela. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Pamela.
I didn't realize my light had turned off at some point while we were meditating, but amazing. I hope you all take that practice. Thank you, Leslie. It was amazing. I hope you all get to take that practice. And for those of you that tuned in, I hope you sat with it and did it with us. And for those of you watching on replay, you get to have it for as long as you want.
Yes.
As long as you want. You can always come back to this video and do that practice. So if you enjoyed that, drop a comment below. I'm getting thank yous coming in. Thank you. You're welcome. Betty, you're welcome. Monique. That was
And the biggest thing, I'm never going to really ask how was your experience, because I don't want in words how your experience was. But what I want to bring to awareness before we end this conversation, for all the ladies commenting, I'm receiving the love. Just check in with yourself. How do you feel now? Like, really bring awareness to, like, dang, I feel really, because I know I feel really good right now. I feel really full. I feel really like vibrant is the word. I feel really light and vibrant. So if you do feel called and you want to share how you're feeling, please do so. But more importantly than sharing, I want you to check in with yourself of how you feel. That was literally with me talking 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It takes longer than that to make a cup of tea.
Yeah. Which all you did.
Which y'all did to join us. So I know you got a little bit of time to make some tea.
Yeah, definitely.
So really wanting to bring light to 5 minutes, because I know oftentimes the whole practice gets thrown to the wayside because we don't think we have the 30 minutes that we planned for, or the 20 minutes, or even the hour that we want. 5 minutes. Imagine approaching your day, the rest of this week, which you're going to be, and the rest of this month. Like for me, feeling vibrant. What decisions would a vibrant Leslie make that a non-vibrant Leslie that's a little frustrated, stressed out, and pissed off make? Very different decisions, very different reality. So please, if you have any questions about this practice, message me personally, and I'm happy to answer logistical questions. But this will be your practice. Allow yourself a minute to drop in. Take on the breathwork practice. I encourage you 8 minutes, but remember, this can be done 4 minutes throughout the day. And then ending 1 minute in silence. So that's a perfect 10-minute practice for the morning. 1 minute to drop in, 8 minutes to take on the practice, and 1 minute to really observe, do a body scan, and drop deeper into the experience, longer if you want. And then the last 5 minutes, then you have 5 minutes, you can open your eyes and you can see, maybe you want to dance, but either way, you can pull out your journal and ask yourself, okay, from this space, like, how do I desire to feel today? And we want to hear, tag myself, tag Candy in these journal entries. You can cross out your personals, but we want to see and share this experience with you this week.
Thank you guys for joining Tea Talks. We love you. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Cheers. Cheers.